Hello and welcome to another vlog. This vlog is like no other. What are they doing with podcasting? There is loads of them, and that's why the market is oversaturated. Is that contributing for people to find new podcasts, or is this making the podcast world unseen? Are people still consuming podcasts? Are people still watching podcasts? Do people still like to watch podcasts and consume podcasts? And the question to that will be answered in this video. Before that, I want to talk a little bit about my experience in podcasting. I started my content creation with a podcast in which I was doing with another friend that was, let's say, not the best of podcasts, to be honest. Still was fun learning, fun times editing the stuff. But that's not what I'm here to talk. I'm talking about the one that I did for a long time. From June of 2020 to end of 2022 was 2 years of this project, that me talking and discussing certain articles that I read, that I found it useful, and interviewing people that I found fascinated and I wanted to learn more, either on comedy or other arts. I met incredible people through the way, some of them still friends until today's day, others not really, others were just someone that I met, talked, enjoyed the conversation, and then that's it. But still, fun times. I'm gonna put here pieces and bits of some interviews. One of the first guests that I want to talk about was Sinead, a cosplayer from the US. She's very famous, and I had the opportunity to talk to her in my early days of podcasting.
So before I ever cosplayed, I performed a lot on stage and made my own costumes. So when I started playing Magic, I wanted to have something that connected me to the game more. I got interested in Magic the Gathering, first off, because when my now husband and I met, he played Magic, and I knew about the game because my older brothers played when I was really little and too young to play. And so I said, okay, I know what this is. Teach me. I want to play with you and beat you. So my competitive spirit is what drove me to pick up the game, because he would go out every Friday night and play Magic at the shop and always talk about how and stay there till past midnight. So I was like, I want to do this. This seems like fun.
Do you feel the social media has a great impact on what you do and the range of people that gets, or how do you feel about social media?
Social media has a huge impact. I had a couple of friends who said, hey, you should just start posting more, like start marketing yourself, because your stuff's really good and nobody knows who you are. So I put myself out there, and it was definitely scary. But now I know so many people, and I'm getting to be on this podcast episode with you, and got different projects with both business and fun that are coming up that I never would have networked with so many people without social media.
What do you state that is the negative aspects of it?
For me, the worst part of social media is imposter syndrome, and especially talking about from a cosplay aspect, especially if you are wanting to get started in cosplay. You're going to look up cosplay and you're going to see phenomenal work. There are some people who do armor work that is way outside the realm of what I do. I'm better at sewing. Not to say that I couldn't do that. I am fully capable of it, but it's just knowing and looking at, oh, all of these people are so amazing, and then imposturing yourself and saying, I'm never going to be able to do that. That's what might prevent you from starting. Take social media as a screen and not get too deep into it.
The next guest is Pedro Mata, one of my good friends in comedy, an amazing comedian, a person that I can truly laugh about anything and talk about anything, to be honest. When I did my tour in Portugal, it helped me knowing what the best spots was in town to reach out and who to reach out. He's really a good friend and a hilarious comedian. If you're Portuguese, give it a go. Go watch his content, hilarious, fascinating. We had a lovely conversation in English for this podcast of mine.
Hello, how are you?
Not bad. How are you?
I'm not bad as well. I just made soup.
Very relevant for the conversation.
I thought the people needed to know. I mean, important, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's pumpkin soup. No, I thought someone was going to ask, so I'm
Anyway.
straight away. No bullshitting here.
So far, I feel that this podcast is gonna go to levels that I never dream of.
Let's go, baby. That's what we're here for. Let's go. Let's talk about the moon.
I feel that like the way that I did the blog was innovative from the beginning to the end. Because like there was one part that I started recording on the station that everyone was looking at me. Because
Sure.
I was like, and I was like recording from here.
See,
From down to the top of my, and I was like, you just see my nose.
Okay, what I'm getting at is you learned a lot going to Cambridge, right? About how to record the vlog.
I'm a good creator. Let's say that.
Yes. Constantly learning, constantly experimenting with the camera positions, camera angles.
Yeah. People say that I'm a lunatic. No, I'm just a visionary. I'm creating new
Sure.
things.
Yeah.
Did you notice that like the chihuahuas are so tiny and they can have like a little bit of notion how they are, but they are the ones that bark the most?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Small dogs have some sort of like Napoleon complex or something because they're the ones. Dude, totally. Yeah. Like my girlfriend's dog is also really small. He's a Yorkshire.
Yeah.
And you take him out for a walk. He just starts yelling at these huge dogs. Like, dude, if I were you, I wouldn't do that. You can't take them. They're gonna wreck you, dude.
Or like the stuff that they like start barking at you and they're like, man, I could kick you. I was like, what? What's your point?
Yeah. Dude, I can pick you up, throw you to a seagull. So you better watch out.
They have here a group like of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah.
But the thing is, instead of them trying to put the publicity in English, they put the publicity in Portuguese in England. And it's like,
Are you serious?
yeah, I don't think you understand what marketing is.
Oh my god. These
like,
people, dude. Oh my god, these are the dumbest people. Oh my god.
I was like getting to my train in the morning. I was like, I saw that. I was like, I didn't say anything because like they would start talking about Jesus or whatever. I'm like, no,
No. You did well.
But I was like, come on, are you so stupid? Like you are in England. You are like with something in Portuguese. Do you think people are gonna stop and like, oh yeah?
Let's all just appreciate status. Going through a notebook. Isn't that nice?
It is.
Yeah. Look at him. He's thinking. He's reading. Interesting. Very interesting.
I think I'm gonna keep this part. I'm loving it.
Dude, please do. Are you kidding me? This is the best part.
I'm having fun, I swear.
Let's start a podcast where the only thing we do is we read a book. We don't talk to each other. We just read books.
That would be lovely. That would be lovely. This is very interesting. I don't know. It's like...
as I said before, I'm here for the experience, for the reading a notebook experience.
What a shit experience.
Dude, that's life. Sometimes life is interesting. Sometimes life is boring. That's what life is.
I swear that I'm trying to search for something, but I have no idea what I'm searching for.
Again, isn't that life?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Keep talking while I'm
No. What are you talking about? Talking? No.
What do you think would be like the worst superpowers ever?
Ooh, that's a good question. Ooh, I need to think about this.
Yeah, I think I know one. I think I think a superhero that has OCD for cleaning.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Imagine a superhero that's OCD for cleaning, and he's like, "Fuck, this is a mess."
This is a mess. Help us, Captain America. The structure is destroying town. Yeah. But have you seen the state of this town? No one takes out the trash. I need to take out the trash.
Yeah, exactly. Or like a superhero that is germophobic. It's like, I'm not gonna touch you.
I'm gonna arrest you, but I'm not gonna touch you. So go to jail, please.
The next guest he doesn't need a lot of introductions. He's been in the entertainment industry for a long time. He's a professional comedian, professional entertainment. He does everything. He's Dave Thompson. And I had the opportunity to talk to him, to be friends with him through the days. This podcast was the beginning of a friendship that helped me in this industry, that helped me understanding what to do, what not to do. He sort of been a mentor to me through the years.
I think probably the weirdest experience was a very long time ago when I had just finished doing A-level theatre studies at Stratford-on-Avon in Warwickshire in England, which is where William Shakespeare lived, and it's where the Royal Shakespeare Theatre is. And they're called, the Royal Shakespeare Company is called the RSC, and the Royal Shakespeare Theatre is called the RST. And this strange man, who was like a very eccentric, wealthy person, for reasons best known to himself, decided to start a theatre company called the RSC, and it was something else Shakespeare Company. I forget what it was. I think maybe something like the Renaissance Shakespeare Company or something. And he started putting on productions, hiring the function room in the Shakespeare Hotel, which is a very beautiful old sort of Elizabethan hotel. I had just finished doing my A-levels and I was planning to be unemployed for a bit and sort of relax and things. And I had to go to the job centre in order to claim dole, social, whatever it was called in those days, social unemployment benefit, whatever it was. And they said, okay, well, you better look, I put myself down as actor thinking, there's no way I'm going to get a job as an actor. So that would be a safe thing to put down. And they said, oh, there's a bloke needs actors. And they showed me this card. And this bloke was actually advertising for actors to be in the RSC, the Renaissance Shakespeare Company, or whatever other word it was that began with R. So I ended up having to work as an actor when I actually didn't really want a job. We had to do these plays that he'd written and perform them in the function room of the Shakespeare Hotel in Stratford-on-Avon. They were all a bit weird and no one really quite knew why he was doing it. It was costing him lots of money. And then during one of the performances, he had a friend in who was from another country, not Britain. I forget where it was. It was somewhere in South America or somewhere a long way away. And he was obviously quite drunk and making lots of noises at the back. And as actors doing this play, we were thinking, hope it's his friend. I hope he, gets his friend reined in and deals with him. And in the end, the opposite happened. The friend invaded the stage and physically attacked one of the other actors. We realized later that he'd actually set the whole thing up and that he knew that his friend was going to come on and attack one of the actors during the show. So that's probably the weirdest thing I ever did, because I didn't even want to be working at the time. I signed on to be unemployed and they said, hey, there's a bloke who wants to pay people to be actors in his theatre company. So that's probably the weirdest thing.
The next one is a comedian, promoter of comedy nights. He's been someone that I've reached several times. The first times that I've come to know about Bournemouth was through him, that he gave me a space on the nights that he used to run, or still runs. Back then, that's the way that I found about Bournemouth, that I found about the place that I visited several times. I enjoyed going there. And the first times were to perform, and I had the opportunity to travel around while waiting for the event.
You have to have some sort of professional standards on there. Problem nowadays is all of the bullshit on YouTube. That's why we've got all of the conspiracy nuts and the anti-vaxxers unboxing videos, which I think is worse than either of the other two. I would rather listen to a conspiracy theorist than watch some fucking overprivileged 16-year-old dickwad open up a box and just go like, oh, this is so amazing. Oh, it's a real ASMR moment. Pop. Phone. Fuck 'em.
Fucking hell. I wasn't expecting that word.
Well, that makes two of us, to be fair. I didn't know that's where I was going to end up, but that's where we went. So,
what do you have so much against people that unbox stuff?
it's just pointless. It's like reaction videos. It's people taking other people's creative work and then profiting off of it. Here's a video of a fat man falling over. Damn! Oh, yo! Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the bell.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, true.
I've got nothing against people that create content and do well, right? Even if it's bullshit, reviewing things, that's fine. But just fucking unboxing it, this is me taking something out of the box. I'm not even going to rate it against another product. I'm not going to give you any fucking detailed technical advice. I'm just going to show you what it looks like. This is something you could never afford, and I've got one. I've not only got one, I've got another fucking 6, because I'm probably going to have to do this video several times, because I'm high as fuck.
I know that this is just comedians. I've had diversity on the panel that I choose as a guest, but most of it were comedians, were people that I met across several stages that I share with these people that I went to perform. I met them, I talked to them, and then I was just like, let's help each other. It's easy this way. I have this idea. Let's have a talk, get to know better each other's, and just hang out a little bit. The next comedian is Sam Jackson. I don't know if he still performs or not. Getting back to it and listen to it, trying to take the best moments. I had a laugh from the beginning to the end. It was truly fun to listen back to it. Most of it I didn't remember. I don't know if this person still does comedy or not. He was an history teacher and a comedian. I've not heard from him in the comedy circuit, in the comedy environment for a while. Most people that I performed through times, some of them still do, others don't. Others did at that time and then quit, thought, nah, this is too much, I'm never gonna reach anything, or there is not a lot going on here, so I'm just gonna live my life and not worry about comedy.
When doing these podcasts and without guests, I always try to bring history and sociology, a little bit of everything. And I always say, and I've said several times, that it's important to study history to understand the present.
It's that famous quote, those who forget the past is doomed to repeat it. Yeah, I originally wanted to learn Spanish and Russian. Funnily enough, Russian was already going to be the thing. The path that I was going to go down then was to be a translator. One of the things I found is being dyslexic and dyspraxic. When people talk fast, I have trouble understanding them. So if they talk fast in a different language, I am most likely definitely not going to understand them.
Jesus.
They've just finished translating their first sentence and they've moved on to like the 5th.
And you'd be like, dots, dots, dots. Next.
Like, did they really just say that one line? Yep. That's all I got. They may have said more, but I did not get that.
It was basically just translate like, hello. I got that one.
I'd make it up. Make it up as I go along. Did they really say, hi, yes, I agree to all your demands? Yeah, sure. Why not?
Basically like, hello. And after that you have dot, dot, dots, and after that is like, oh, the end of this discussion. Thanks very much.
I got hello and goodbye, and anytime they said the word and or the, I've got, L, la, done. Or if they swore, I think I could get if they swore as well.
Yeah, fair enough. That would be interesting.
We were doing a show at a pub, and it was really hectic. Everyone was very drunk. They weren't listening. They were on Christmas do's.
I know which one. And if you are, you have the curiosity for it, it is on my YouTube channel. You can search through. I think the title is comedian something, the respecting crowd or something like that. You can find easily through it. But continue.
Yeah, it was. Well, that's things that what made that so great, and what sort of saw like the evolution. Because obviously, I consider you my friend and a fellow comedian. So seeing you just basically all of us struggle through this set, and you just get up there, pull a chair up, sit down, like you haven't got a care in that goddamn world, and then just do your set. Pretty much making fun of those girls. It was the best thing ever, because I had done gigs with you before, and it was like, I could see you were a bit nervous and stuff like that. That was balls to the wall. I don't care anymore. Bring it on. Seeing your friend and fellow community evolve like that. I even said that was the funniest point of that night. That literally made me hurt from how much we were all laughing.
Yeah.
It was the epitome of, I think you said, like, a comedian gives up on stage. And I think that's what you said. But like the rest of us were kind of like, it's like someone who's very drunk wandered onto a talk show, sat down, and refused to leave until he had finished his point. And it was just that, it was so brilliant seeing that. Well, like, one of the gigs that I've done with you was, I remember when we were, when you did your bit about the comedy philosopher.
Oh, yeah.
A philosopher tries to do comedy. And when you did that, there are like football fans in the audience that didn't have a single clue about what you were going on about. But all the other comedians were laughing our asses off at that, because we understood that stuff.
Yeah.
And, a lot of the times you do have to kind of go, all right, I'll do my best for this crowd, but sometimes you're not going to hit.
Now, I already know that, like, the jokes are not going to hit, because, like, I always try to bring a strong one in the beginning. I know if that doesn't work for the crowd, I'm like, I don't give a shit anymore. I'm gonna just do my thing and, like, just worry about, like, how do I say the stuff.
I will never write a full-scale set. What I will do is I have just, tabs on my phone in my notes for comedy. And anytime I get an idea, I write it down. And then I can come back later and I can see if I can expand on it. Pretty much just that one or two jokes. So, my 10-minute set that I use at the moment, pretty much I came up with like 3 of those jokes once while I was on a train toilet going from Portsmouth back to Croydon.
You are mentioned there the toilet. Do you mind if I go to the toilet and we wait a little? The best pause ever, because I'm really struggling to hold my thing.
After that brilliant tie-in, I think I've got to let you go to the toilet.
We're gonna stop for a while because I really need to pee. I've been drinking a while. So we're gonna just stop the podcast. So continue your journey.
The train will leave the destination.
Talking about Portsmouth and talking about performing in Portsmouth, the times that I perform in Portsmouth, there is no one better to describe Portsmouth and to describe the scene of Portsmouth than my next guest, the guest that I decided to gather some of funny moments of that conversation through the podcast, through back in the days recording an episode with him, and that person is Matt Roseblade.
Always been better at making people laugh than I have at other things that I'm supposed to do. Or perhaps I've been worse at other things and less shit at making people laugh. It was probably on a school trip when I was 14 and a complete non-entity at school. I was spotty and smelly and not really worthy of anyone paying any attention to me. But I just discovered this talent for making jokes and making people laugh, and people started to notice me in a good way. I kept on doing that, but it was never something that I thought about doing on stage until I was nearly 50. I lied my way onto stage at the Fat Fox Club when they ran out of comedians at very short notice, and I lived down the road. And when I got there, I fessed up and said, I've never actually done this before. They said, well, it's too late, you're here now. And when I finished, they said, well, you're not actually that shit, so you can come back. The rest is history. I've never really been a bad sort of nervous for performing. I used to be in a band, and I would get nervous beforehand, but it would be butterflies and excitement. It would be like, oh, I can't wait to get on the stage. And it's the same with comedy. It's like, yeah, the MC is doing a long intro for me. Shut the fuck up. I want to get on stage. What a massive ego I must have. But yeah, I just don't get nerves. Possibly I'm a psychopath. I do get excitement beforehand. And afterwards, unless I've died horribly on my ass, and I just want to go around and high-five the room.
Now, a little bit different from comedians and being in comedy and all the artists in that genre. A short video of someone that I met through university, through being in Portsmouth still, So that times that I was studying, I met her through a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, in which they used to date. At one point in time, I've worked with her for a project because she's an illustrator. She does a lot of drawings, either on paper or digital art. So I've worked with her. Like my first special, the way that I announced it was through a drawing of her. I commissioned her, I paid for the drawing, she did the art form, and then we did publicity to that special that way. But apart from that, like we did other projects, we work in other projects, and one of those was that podcast, the roundabouts of working in art. And yeah, so nothing better than my good friend talking about certain things in a funny way. Francisco Maria. Enjoy.
Back home, she asked me, what do I tell people who ask me about what my sweet little daughter is studying? What is animation really? And I'm like, because it's like that. Some people don't, especially older people, they don't even realize it's a proper career. And well, what I tell my mom every time is just tell them, do you know Tom and Jerry? And like, someone did Tom and Jerry. Someone had to create that, and just tell them I'm kind of working in that area of expertise. And
last but not of less importance, I guess that I always had the pleasure to have good conversations through comedy. She's an amazing comedian. I like her style. Enjoy the talks that I have. Enjoy what I gather the best, the funniest parts, in my opinion, from the conversation with Emma Ashley King.
The happy topic of death, which I do find quite happy actually, and not at all morbid. I have a very large, extensive collection of books on death, dying, living, funerals. I have a tendency to bring this up as a topic around friends, over dinner, over drinks.
You're not the first one saying that I'm very blunt in regards everything, in regards life. They say like, you are very blunt and that makes me laugh. I'm like, I'm just being myself.
I mean, yeah, you do you, if you're just being yourself. There is some things I can be very blunt. Death is one of them. I don't really like all the euphemisms around death, like, oh, they've gone to sleep or they're in a better place. I hate that.
Even another day I was talking like with a comedian friend, and I said like, oh, this thing annoys me when people like starting to have like small talk with me, and this person starts having small talk with me by saying like, oh, it's so hot in here, and I'm like, do you want me to reply to you? If I reply to you, I'm going to explain you the biology and the chemistry of all of this, and that all the bodies are different in regards to temperature, and this is going to be a lecture or a TED talk. I don't think you want that. And I'm like, I'm saying this, and the person that in the other side knows me and is like, I know that you would do that. He was like, you're very blunt.
If you enjoy this type of content, leave a like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends. Do that. It helps the content. It helps the content to reach to more people. Hopefully soon enough I'm able to do other sorts of content, like other sorts of content that I've did in this channel, like traveling, visit certain places, trying to create content around it instead of going to my old archives and trying to understand what I can work with and what I can create with. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for coming this long in the video and amusing yourself.